Dan, tell us what's going on here.
I bought another one, John.
What is it?
Shut the door. It's a silver arrow, John, of course.
No, now listen, I was saying to Dan, when he dies, his tombstone is going to be painted Arctic silver, and the lettering is going to be taken off the backs of Porsches.
Well.
He's got a thing with Arctic silver.
Silver. It just follows me everywhere. The Volvo's silver, customers' cars are silver, all my cars are silver. Every car I buy to break's silver. It's just. I always know if there's one for sale, if it's blue or black or red, I'm not likely to buy it. But if it's silver, I'm like, well, it'll be here. It'll just be coming here, won't it?
Tell us the history about how you bought this and why you bought it.
So this is a car that was for sale last year. It was a local guy actually in Petworth. And I was going to go and view the car, but a friend of mine, Martin, went and viewed the car before me, and he told me, don't bother, it's really rusty. So I didn't go and buy it, and that was the end of it. Well, the car did get purchased by a young lad called Sam, who's a bit inexperienced, first Porsche, etc.
He's in our Aero Club, lovely guy.
He's in our Aero Club, lovely lad, and he joined the Aero. He bought this. He joined the Aero Club, and he basically had the ambition to do a project on it, you know, kind of modify it a little bit, but also to do all the work that needed doing on it. But unfortunately, he didn't realise what the work was. And it was structural rust. So it was.
You can't see all the rust, though, can you?
You don't see it unless you jack the car up or put it on a ramp. You can't really see it.
We've all made this mistake and bought a car, and then the more that you do on it, you get to the point you notice more, and then suddenly.
Not gone underneath. That's the scary thing with these cars. People buy them, they look on top and think, "Oh, that looks a nice thing," and you know, it
does look
nice.
It is, and it is lovely.
But you put it up on a ramp with an MOT inspector, and it had just been.
And that's what. So under MOT, it failed.
Yeah, so I think he did like a pre-MOT check. So he started buying. So he knew the car drove really badly, and the suspension was awful, and all that sort of setup was awful. So he started buying.
The rear tries to overtake the front.
Yeah,
you know you're in trouble.
Does. So he literally started buying new parts, suspension, arms, components. He was chatting to people in the group, asking for advice for what bits to buy. But unfortunately, what he hadn't done is still the first job is to get it up on a ramp with like somebody who knows what they're doing and knows what they're looking for. And that happened, and unfortunately it was photographs that were really scary. Big rust holes. I mean,
and typically with these cars,
you only see that, but it's bad.
That point there, just underneath there's a jacking point for that side, and obviously the jacking point for the front. These seals are always prone to rotting, but also around that panel there can rot out, and it can rot out all up here as well, which I don't think it's too bad on this car.
No, but I think it is on the other side. I think it's bubbling round.
Is that where it's all gone in there, Dan?
Yeah.
So it's just completely gone, is it?
It's gone completely here, and the jacking point's gone. You can't
not
really
too
see
bad
it.
though, is it?
So it don't look too bad.
Some people
there.
would say, well, yes, I'll do that, I'll do that.
If I give you some pictures, you can add them to your video of what it looks like underneath.
Means I've got to do some editing.
You can put your hand in places, you know. So
it's one of those.
It's pretty bad.
It's
the more
you
dig, the worse you'll find.
So if you took this around a track, you do one lap, and then it'd just be you and the steering wheel. That'd be it. The rest of it's shaken off.
But so he got to that point where he realised it's an automatic as well, so it's not the desirable one.
Yeah.
It's done 120 odd thousand miles. It's had a massive amount of owners. Sam was the 21st, 22nd.
Yeah, that's always
that really kills its total value of what it could be.
It had an engine rebuild as well.
He got it pretty cheap. Yeah, I didn't realise that. It had an engine rebuild.
For a big end bearing, same as mine.
Yeah, for a big end bearing. So it looked like an in-depth engine build, but the more you read about it, they hadn't done any bore work and that, which is fine because we know the bores are good on these. It wasn't like a full build. It was more of
spun a bearing.
Overfull.
They took it apart, rebuilt the bearings, put it all back together, cleared all the fluid out, and then that's it. And I don't think you should always do that.
No, and the reality...
Because it fills up with metal as well.
They had done new chains and tensioners.
Did they put a new crank in it?
A used crank, another crank.
So that meant that the crank would have shelled some metal in there.
Yes. They've done some good stuff, don't get me wrong, they've done some really good stuff, but unfortunately there was a few things they didn't do. And what's happened now, where the car's been sitting around, it's running rough. It was really rich, as we smelt on test drive. But also, it's riddled with oil leaks. It's got like 5 or 6 oil leaks
so
everywhere.
It's an engine that works, it runs, it's timed okay.
But it's not built properly.
But that engine needs assessing and fixing, and so it's like the engine. You could sell the engine as like a breaker engine as well. As a running breaker engine, but it's not a good engine.
No, not as it
stands. At least
stands,
it's got new bearings, which is a positive.
And it's got a lot of good components on this new engine. A lot, like you said, the big end bearings have been done, the chains.
Crank's worth £2 grand.
The tensioners, the crank, the com rods. So there's a lot of new bits. Even the heads have been all skimmed and de-choked. So personally, the value for me is in the engine, to keep this engine as a donor for me.
Yeah.
So I'll take the engine out, I'll strip the engine down and rebuild the engine back together properly, doing the things they didn't do, and basically making sure it doesn't come out with oil leaks out the end of it.
Yeah.
Obviously with the help of Stuart.
Yeah, I was thinking, Dan, you ain't even gonna be able to get out of the car.
I can get it out. We've done that.
Maybe
John.
you won't be able to get it back in though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously there's value in the engine, but mainly to me, otherwise it's just a donor engine.
And Sam's a lovely guy, but even Dan had double thoughts about buying this one, even as a breaker, because it was so far gone.
Yeah, and it drives terribly. I mean,
but
it's awful. It's dangerous.
The reason you went for this and bought it as a breaker is basically it come with an aero kit.
Yeah.
And you can sell that aero kit, and then you can get your money back. So Dan can get his money back
for the kit
on this
and the wheels.
If you
and
think
a
the
few
kit
other
and the engine, you're in profit.
Yes.
So you were never going to lose, but the problem is you're taking these things on. They sit on your driveway for ages, and it's work to strip components off this car and sell them and break them is a pain. It's not the best way to make a living. So you've always got. That's why breaker cars don't go for a lot of money, because no one wants to break a car in their driveway.
No, like even things like the panels and that, like the bonnet's got rust underneath. It's been painted and it's
which
rotten.
is a shame.
So that bonnet, it looks good, but it's not.
It was still sellable, that bonnet.
Yeah, but it's not worth a lot of money.
It's also, look, it's a non-Excalibur car.
Non-sunroof, yeah. So that makes potentially either the body shell worth good money at the end, because it's got a private plate as well.
So potentially you should just keep hold of this roof in case you've got any mates that have got sunroofs that they're thinking of doing.
I would, depending what I do with the shell, one potential buyer I have for the shell doesn't need a roof.
Oh, okay.
So if he doesn't need
I'm gonna go carbon fibre.
If he doesn't need the roof, I will cut this roof out and I will sell the roof.
I will have, Dan. I will have.
You will have.
I will have this front windscreen.
It looks in really good
condition. If it's not
condition.
chipped, mate, I will have
It does
that.
look really good.
I will have that.
They're very hard to get, very rare.
Very cheap they are.
Very rare, very expensive.
Very cheap with all this time. I've heard these are really cheap, like a tenner, Dan.
I've heard that you can't get them and they're about £1,000.
And if the speakers are any good, I'll tell you what.
Really rare.
Mate,
they're really good as well.
Now that might save me a job, because if the speakers are good.
Yeah, they're rare. They are. They're rare.
Everyone, when Dan buys one of these, everyone comes around and starts.
It's worth nothing when I'm buying it.
We all come around and start sniffing around the car. Before he knows it's like in bits. We've all taken what we want off it.
As soon as I got home, the wheels are sold and the headlights are sold.
Well, that's all right.
So the wheels are 8J fronts, which is the rare ones we all want.
Yeah.
So they're going to 9 Details James because he wants them to refurbish them. He's also bought the headlights as well, because they're not too burnt on the inside, but he'll replenish the lenses and put new repeaters
they're only worth
on them.
£1,000 refurbished, though, aren't
I know they're only 500 quid not refurbished, so they're not a lot of money.
they? How much are they worth £1,000 refurbished?
A bit more, mate. Well,
1,500.
I don't know.
But it's going to cost him over 500 to get them refurbished.
It's the 8J.
Oh, they're rare,
People
are they?
want 8Js.
Right, fair enough.
Also rare in this
They're
car.
worth 500 quid all day long.
Also rare in this car, which I think will be a keeper, is non-speaker, non-airbag door cards.
I got that in mine, yeah.
What? No, yours got airbag.
Is it airbag?
I don't think yours is non-airbag. These are really rare.
Mine have got airbag, yeah.
So these are non-airbag, non-speaker. So these are the lightest door cards you can get.
Well, they're worth 120 quid, 200 quid.
I would actually value them at £250, £300 the pair, but I wouldn't sell them. I think I'll keep these for CGA.
He's going to say that
because
with every part that's rare he's going to want to keep.
Yeah, you can't find them. The interior is in pretty good condition, John. Obviously, it's got the non-sunroof headlining, which would go with the roof.
It's a shame it's not Alcantara. I'd have bought that off you.
Yeah, it's only the standard seats with the ruffled leather rear seats.
It's a cookie cutter interior. It's a nice Stezza in it though.
It's got a doubled-in Sony stereo system, so I'm sure that's got a value.
Will be worth
the steering wheel is actually in really good condition for a 4-spoke.
Yeah.
Because they're normally really battered. That's not bad.
You've got a couple of grand's worth in this interior, but it just takes a long time.
Clocks, obviously. Yeah, the interior. To be honest, you won't make that much out the interior because it's not sports seats.
No, people don't want those seats.
There's no Techniquip bits. There's nothing, no carbon.
But all of this stuff is hundreds on eBay. But it's just the problem is no one will buy it for years.
It's all about condition. See these things here?
Yeah.
Are not original. These are all black.
Yeah.
They should be graphite grey. So
too
people
much
want them in black. They're in demand in black.
Yeah.
So they actually sell, but they're only 50, 60 pounds,
Mate.
and they're not broken.
Yeah,
of
that
course they
instrument
break.
cluster's worth about 300 quid.
Yeah, again, Tiptronic, there's loads for sale, so they don't sell
it's a
very
tip,
quick.
isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because you've got the gear
Okay,
lever
it's
thing
worth
here.
about 100 quid.
The steering wheel will be good value, but it's Tiptronic again, so it reduces its value.
It's got is it LSD? No. No,
it's Tiptronic. I don't think it is an LSD, no.
So the gearbox is not worth.
These are worth a lot of
nothing.
money. These are worth good money because it's all working. The heated control
Climate
units.
control module.
Because it all lights up.
But yeah, but mainly Dan, it's aero kit, alloys gone, lights gone.
By the time the lights, aero kit and
engine.
alloys are gone, I should be almost at the break-even point.
Yeah, yeah.
Once I'm at the break-even point, everything else is your
I'll
profit.
tell you what's
is
good on
free.
this though. Sam had started, I think, doing the brakes.
He's put all new discs and
So it's got new discs and pads on it.
brand new all round,
Yeah.
so they're all good.
Yeah,
They're
so
all usable.
you know, it is what it is. Eventually,
But most of this stuff becomes spares just for me for my cars, really.
yeah, yeah. So
As long as I get my money back,
it is
I
a
don't
shame
really
because
care.
it's a lovely car, and it seems like such a shame to break it, but it is a breaker.
does, it is.
This
It's-
car is a breaker.
If you
'Cause-
think about it, John, if you was to repair all that rust, deal with the bodywork issues the car has, make it drive good, which would mean fitting all them arms and suspension and making it drive good, that would cost you £5,000 or £6,000 to
Yeah,
do all
yeah.
that.
And then the engine will go.
And then maybe more. Then you still got to deal with all them oil leaks.
Yeah.
If you did all of that, I think you'd probably have a bill of about £12,000. And the car's
Only
only
12
worth
grand.
£12,000.
Only 12 grand. That's
You
nothing.
could spend
These are
this
always
in-
labours of love. These cars.
You could spend its entire value
But look at the lines on it. Look at the
on,
lines on it. It's a beautiful
on
car.
fixing it up.
It's a
just not
911
worth
that's
it.
getting salvaged or it's getting broken because it's just too far gone. But
Yeah.
you'd want this to go to someone that would just like strip it all down themselves but you can't. The thing is, you need professional services to do so many things, and it ends up costing a fortune. Yeah, so this is a breaker all day long, Dan, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. The body, the best part of the body really is the non-sunroof roof bit.
Yeah,
By the time
yeah,
you cut
yeah.
that roof off,
Paint's not bad on this car.
most of the
actually.
panels are not even wearing.
Bits of it being painted, like the front bumper, and it's been
Yeah,
painted
front
well.
bumper's in really good condition.
Rear bumper's not bad, is it?
No, I actually kind of fancy keeping the rear bumper, John, because it's got the spats.
He wants to keep it all the good bits. Like, Let it go, Dan.
The argumentative,
The
love
war-
them
the
or
war's
hate
over.
them spats. Very Marmite. You've got them on
love
your
them.
car. They look awesome.
I'm
I
pro
love them
spat.
on your
I
car.
never used to like them. I thought they were rubbish. Are
Yeah.
they genuine ones?
Yeah, genuine
They look
spats.
thinner than mine.
It's because they're silver. They just look different. Now,
No, maybe
I've
they're not.
always been on the fence with them on silver cars, John.
He says.
I've
by the
always
fence.
been on the fence with them, literally. I'm on the fence.
I think they're lovely.
But as you sent me that picture of this car from behind, that
they
monstrous
work. It works.
look,
It works.
it's got really good stuff.
Mate, it's
so
Larry.
I'm going to just
it
swap.
widens the car a little
I'm
bit.
just going to swap the bumpers over with CGA.
When you first see him, it looks like someone stuck a flip flop on there with like tiger seal and just like
Yeah. No, they're all
stuck it on.
bolted on.
But then when you own them, they become like divine, like
yeah,
everything.
they flow with the line of the side skirt, which isn't on there at the moment. But I do have the side skirts. He took them
Those
off
panels are-
because he wanted us to see
Panels
the
are
rust.
beaten up. I can see all the little dinks in it.
But John, remember the reason why people talk about the spats, why they have spats.
Yeah.
That line flows with the line on the side skirt and picks up on the line there on the bumper.
It does, yeah.
So that's the side profiles.
Is that a Dansk?
It is a modified exhaust of
It's
some
a nice
sort.
exhaust. I bet that's worth a few quid.
It could be.
Could be worth 500 quid.
It is blowing somewhere, so I'd have to find out where it's blowing.
Blown out those holes there.
It's actually blowing and rattling somewhere, so I'd have to find out where that is. That it's not a damaged box. I think I saw when we started it from cold and the condensation. There's, when they where the joint is.
Yeah.
The double bolts. There was water pouring out of there.
That ain't good.
So you always condensation, but it means that that's where it's blowing from.
Yeah.
So that's an easy
And it's got a good
fix.
plate on it.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't take the plate off. It's going to go with a shell.
Oh, okay.
The plate was valued at £500.
Well, you don't own the plate.
I do own the plate, but it's got to stay with the shell because it's got no MOT.
Oh.
If you want to take the plate off, you'd have to register the car, MOT and tax it to remove the plate.
Good luck with the MOT.
Yeah, good luck with the MOT, exactly. So unless someone's going to restore the shell, then don't worry about it, just let it go. Because
There's some
otherwise
dodgy MOT places out there, but
it's not worth
even
it.
this one will be pushing it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the work. If the plate was more valuable, I would work on it and get it through an MOT.
I didn't know that, Dan. I thought you could always just put it onto another plate and then...
No, it's got to be MOT'd and taxed, unfortunately.
Okay. So there we go, guys. The question, would you save this car or would you break it? Or would you have walked away from it? Because there's no right or wrongs with any of this. But
well, there is. I think if you're not a person that's going to break it, you should have walked away from it.
Well, yeah, if you're buying it to repair,
forget it.
Yeah,
even as Sam now realise.
But unless you can weld, if you can weld and paint, like some guys,
yeah, true.
Some guys have got spray guns and they're not, you know, they'll just cut that out and weld in all of the panels, do it all themselves, grind it all back, fill it, paint it. And it won't cost a penny if you can do it yourself.
There's a guy on Instagram called Rusty996, and he can weld.
He works on Rusty 996.
No, he's got a Rusty high mileage 996.
It'd been ideal.
And his was worse than this, and he's cut it all out. He put quarter panels on it and everything. But if you can do all that yourself and you want the challenge,
it's a lot of work.
It's great, but it's a lot.
Getting
of work.
it all lined up properly, cutting it all off.
Financially, you could have just gone and bought one.
Yeah, that's the problem with all of this. That's why it becomes unviable. Is not the fact that it can't be done or you can't do it yourself on the cheap. It's how much work it is versus just going to buy a good one.
Yes, correct.
That
is exactly. If you think about this car, if you take Martin Filleroy's car,
it is a good one, look.
John, Martin's car, who looked at this, so he had one and he aeroed it himself anyway.
Oh yeah.
His car was 68,000 miles, Tiptronic, C2 blue aero car. Only sold it for £15,000.
The tip kills it.
Yeah, if that was manual, it'd be over 20,000. But
tip, is this a C4?
It's a C2 tip.
C2. Yeah, tip kills it.
Yeah.
For me anyway, not for everyone. It's all personal, but it's a slow automatic gearbox with little buttons, and it's fine if that's what you want. But for me, these have got to be manual.
They are slow anyway.
That's what it's all about. But here's a lovely one as well. It just depends what you want. You might want
this is a Gen 2
as a cruiser that it just does all that for you, which is fine because they're still beautiful. Yeah, I love this. I mean, that's a stunning car as well.
Yeah, it's nice condition.
And then in here, don't look at the paint on my rear quarter. Look at that. And in here, Danny's got the original CGA. This is a rare 97, is it?
97 car.
97 Gen 1.
Cable throttle, with LSD.
Gold Sport Classics, cable throttle, LSD. Pretty much rot free, isn't it?
Yeah, no rust on it at all. MO30 car.
And it's got an Excalibur on the top.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The sunroof.
That's the only negative. Bloody sunroof. And it leaks.
And it leaks. Yeah, it does leak. They all leak. We were laughing because Dan
could take that roof off, couldn't we?
Dan, whenever he tests these, he always pours too much water in, so I always do the Excalibur theme tune.
Says Chief Meister Pourer, John, who does 20 litres per second.
Look at this. That is just phenomenal. Where can they find you with these cars, Dan?
Blinger Toys.
Blinger Toys.
On eBay, Facebook,
look at this.
Instagram.
This is just magical. I remember playing with all these little things.
These are all 1970s and 80s Matchbox toys. All for sale, all going on eBay.
They're all on eBay,
They're all going on a big eBay auction next week.
Oh, wow, Dan.
You can bid to win as many as you like.
Just what a collection. Like, just incredible.
All individually listed.
Yeah. So how much, what is just off topic, how much say is one of these? Like these here, Dan, this looks in mint condition. That's a Renault 5,
Renault, mint in the box, probably only 25 pounds.
25 pounds?
Change the colour of the seats and it'd be 50 pounds.
Gee, it sounds like a Porsche.
Yeah, it is the same. But yeah, these can go anything
from... It's a lot of money, really, isn't it?
These can go anything from £10.
But I suppose you think when they're brand new, they were £10,
if
weren't
you take this, John, no, they were £1. If you take that, John, that's a £25 Golf.
25.
And then if you take this one with clear windows and darker green, that's a £200 Golf.
You resprayed them, haven't you, Dan? He resprays them, is it?
If you get it silver brown seats like
Arctic Silver, that's Dan.
Arctic Silver.
I bet it's got about 50 of those Arctic Silver ones.
That could cost you £200. So it's just a lot. There is one or two here that could cost you £1,000, John.
1,000?
1,000. Look at that. That's a prototype.
That's awesome, Dan. I'll catch you later, buddy. There's my financial problems all sorted out there. That'll get me like one wheel on a Porsche.
Yeah, one tyre, one lap round the track.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, I love these cars. Like Dan does them all, like he grades them all as well, don't he?
Yeah,
like,
they all have
some
to
of
be graded.
these boxes are original.
Yeah.
So like, the condition of the box plays a factor in the value. If you like sat on the box, it's all torn to bits, like you've written on it. It's not worth anything. People want like an absolute mint box. They want a mint experience. They want to be buying this like it was brand new back when they were like 5 years old and they were nagging it. They're going, "Go on, Daddy, can I buy this?" And it's like, "I bought you one last week." "No,
Yeah,
you're not
no,
having one."
no,
"Oh,
one."
please, go on. And then they give in and go, "Oh, go on then." And you were the happiest kid for 5 minutes when you got
Yeah,
home.
John, this is a bit of you.
And you started revving around pretending you were like Smokey and the Bandit. I'm getting carried away.
This is
here.
a bit of you, John.
Oh, that's a bit big for me, Dan.
I can't ever imagine you as the wannabe firefighter.
Well, you know.
Nino, whizzing it around your kitchen floor.
That rhymes. No, that's not me. No, I liked the sort
Remember
of sports
this?
cars. I liked a bigger.
Playmobil. Remember that in the 80s?
Yeah, I did
Playmobil
remember that. It was
stuff.
kind of good.
That was £8.29.
I was a Transformers guy. I like Transformers.
There is a Transformer in here somewhere.
Star Wars. That
What
was
year is
my
this?
era.
1981.
Mask.
1981.
Star Wars, Mask, Transformers.
Yeah, I've got all of that.
Loved that. Thunderbirds
This,
when I was
the
very
Pink
young.
Panther, remember the Pink Panther?
Yeah, I love the Pink
Doo-doo.
Panther. Oh, well.
Dinky toys.
Fooled you, kiddo. That's got bits
Doo-
missing. That's not
doo-doo.
worth anything. So, yeah, look at this place. Anyway,
Yeah.
guys, we're getting sidetracked. So, there we go. Thank you very much, Dan. Follow Dan on Dan's Timeless Classics.
If you need any 996 parts, Gen
Yeah.
1 Aero parts,
Got a good set of lower seals for a 996. Bit of corrosion on them. So follow Dan on Dan's Timeless Classics YouTube and Dan's Timeless Classics 2 on Instagram.
That's right, yeah.
And Blinger Toys
toys on everything.
on everything.
Apart
okay.
from YouTube. No
Apart
YouTube
from
for that.
YouTube. No YouTube.
No bloodies.
Okay. Adios.
Bye-bye.